I'm Shelley Irwin. I work for WGVU Radio and Television. In elementary school, I wanted to be on the Brady Bunch. In junior high, I wanted to be on Broadway. In high school, I wanted to be on TV. And of course, I did get a master's in physical therapy. And when I was 38 years old, I looked at myself and said, what is your true passion? And we went and followed it. So basically, it was touching back on that reality of what did I want to do when I was 8 years old? And I went and followed it. I loved my physical therapy. I was an active person. I was a student. I liked helping people. It was a good job. You could be rewarded financially. But after 14 years or so, something was missing. And I went and followed my dream, and here I am. I think it comes down to realizing that we're not here forever. It comes down to realizing that what are my true interests, and I noted part of the transition was returning back to some community theater. And the day job is great, the 9 to 5, but when your heart really can't wait to either hit the stage that night or to, of course, be in that atmosphere and then think about how could that be turned somehow into a full-time job, you start acting on that passion, and you do it in perhaps smaller steps. You talk to someone about a career progression. You talk to somebody about the field that you ultimately want to go into, and you take a little risk, and you take those baby steps. I believe that you have to not just talk the talk, you have to walk the talk too. One can sit and say, I'd love to do that one day, or one could sit around and say, I could do that, I could be on that radio. But until you actually make a physical move to make that happen and pick up the phone, call someone, go back to a class, envision yourself there, realistically it's not going to happen. And there needs to be some motivation on your own. It's not going to be handed to you on a plate. As I tell many, it is a 24/7. You have to be in tune with your community, with your environment, with news, and you have to be on a lot of the time. And that might not be good for everybody, but it is such that, I don't know, if you really love something that you're passionate about, you don't bat an eye at that. There are perks with any job, and I consider all of the emceeing opportunities and the community boards that I serve on perks that not everybody's going to be offered. Not everybody's going to have that chance to get, and here I have it, and I've proven that it adds a lot to your person. And look at all the people that I've met in this region. It really is a welcoming thing. I mean, I just had a conversation on the phone with, Vice President Al Gore, and that was. I mean, it's Al Gore. It's a vice president, no matter which way you vote. And I interviewed him, of course, on the radio. I mean, I have back when one of my first interviews was Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley, and for those who remember that, I mean, he was a funny character. Hello. But I interviewed him because he has MS, and he wrote a book, and he came in on a walker, so that was pretty crazy. I mean, I've had John Boy in studio, I've had Peter Brady, I've had Timmy from Lassie, and I say this because these were all my childhood, back to what I wanted to do as a kid. All I did was watch those shows, and here John Boy's in my studio, so those are kind of cool. I mean,
so
I've done
full circle.
It did came full circle. It's come full circle.
But that opportunity wouldn't have presented itself unless you took that risk.
Unless I took that risk and went to school, went to class from 8 to 1, did physical therapy from 3 to 7, interned at 4 a.m. every Saturday morning, and then played that game for about 2.5 years until one needed to finally make the decision, and I did. I'm Shelley Irwin, and I love my job.